Good evening and welcome to Biz RoundUp. I'm Tamiru Nimsat and we at Art Television bring you a collection of business highlights. Let's have a look at the headlines. Colombo stock market sees a positive start in the new year. Headline inflation in December remains in a single digit, central bank says. Trincomalee oil tank development project receives green light. News in detail. The Colombo stock market saw a positive start to the new year despite dismal investor activity sparking mixed sentiments among market participants as the first trading day of the year 2024 was kicked off. The benchmark KSPI experienced a 30-point gain of 0.3%, while the active S&P SL20 managed a 16-point gain or 0.5%. This performance surpasses last year's opening, with ASPI up by 20 points or 0.2% and S&P SL20 up by 5 points or 0.19%. Market analysis from Asia Securities indicates that the positive momentum was fueled by price increases in key stocks such as CTC, COMBN, COMBX, ACL, HAYL and HAYC. Foreign investors recorded a net outflow of 10.6 million rupees. First Capital noted that the market maintained an upward trend, closing with a 30-point increase, with blue chip and banking counters contributing to this gain. NDB Securities highlighted institutional investor activity in Ceylon Tobacco Company and observed mixed interest in Expo Lanka Holdings, Hatton National Bank and Sampath Bank. The banking sector took the lead in market turnover, driven by Hatton National Bank, non-voting and Sampath Bank, with the sector index gaining 0.67%. The food, beverage and tobacco sector also made significant contributions to market turnover, particularly due to Ceylon Tobacco Company's performance. President Ranil Wickremesinghe emphasized the urgent need to build a stable economy and address the lingering ethnic problem in Sri Lanka. He extended an open invitation to all political parties, urging them to join hands, irrespective of party affiliations, to achieve these vital goals. The President said this delivering the keynote address at the centenary celebration of Badulla Kurutala Muslim Central College recently.
The President expressed his commitment to safeguarding the rights of all citizens and swiftly resolving issues related to reconciliation. Plans were unveiled for a special statement on these matters in March. President Wickremesinghe awarded medals to students who excelled in the GCE Ordinary Level and GCE Advanced Level exams. As part of the centenary celebrations, he inaugurated the college's new website and received a warm welcome from students. He reiterated the importance of collective progress as Sri Lankans, emphasizing that a thriving country requires both a robust economy and a unified community with a confirmed Sri Lankan identity. The President outlined ongoing efforts to address issues faced by different communities, including initiatives in the northern and eastern provinces, Hill Country Tamil people, and the Muslim community. President Wickremesinghe concluded by stating that consultations with religious and political leaders will take place before making a comprehensive statement by February or March. The commemorative event was attended by Muslim religious leaders, State Minister of Education Aravinda Kumar, Governor of the Uva Province, AJM Muzammil and others.
The central bank governor Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe said that the VAT hike will have a one-off effect. He mentioned that even though inflation will see a rise at the start of the year, it will gradually come down to sustainable levels towards the end of the year. The central bank governor said this, speaking at a press conference held at the central bank premises recently.
We have looked at the inflation. So today number came out, I think 4%. Just announced today. I think we think it will one-off impact with the inflation. Full impact maybe another 2 to 3% increase in end of January. So that will one-off increase and that will gradually, fade out going forward. It won't sustain that long. So as our target is to bring it down to 5%. So that will immediately go up to close to probably about 6% and close to 7%, and it will come down later. This is compared to last year. We had this time I think 50%. No? There will be a one-off increase in inflation, obviously, because when you have 15 to 18%, 3% increase plus some of the exemptions items are included. There will be a increase in price level from January 1st onwards, one-off increase. This will reflect as a inflation, year-on-year inflation compared last January, this year, January, instead of 4% this month, maybe about 6% next end of January, and then it will gradually come down.
Financial author Ruchir Sharma said that Sri Lanka has to come up with alternative methods to offset the predicted lower working age population growth to counter its negative effect on the country's economic growth. The best-selling author said this delivering a seminar at the central bank premises in Colombo on Tuesday.
Sri Lanka's case also, now if you notice, the working age population projected to grow over the next 5-10 years is just 0.1% a year. That's a very low level. So it means that you almost need to do something else to offset this. So it's very difficult for Sri Lanka to grow at a rate of more than 6% when your working age population is only growing at 0.1%, unless you're catching up for the past. So you can do it for a while, or you have to rely on more immigration or on much greater automation, or you have to increase the retirement age for the labor force participation to increase, or the female participation in the labor force has to go up. Because typically in no country in the world is the female labor force participation at the same rate as the male participation. So that's one lever you can use to lift economic growth. But you can see here that Sri Lanka's working age population is projected to grow at just 0.1, which countries are growing very rapidly. And on the other hand, you have so many countries now in the world where the working age population is in fact shrinking.
Stay tuned. We will return after this short commercial break. Welcome back after the break. Speaking at the event, the best-selling author also said that in order for a country to avoid economically damaging internal strife, the economic growth should be spread out to several big cities throughout the country.
If you look at most successful countries in the world, the growth tends to be spread out internally. It's not concentrated in one large city or one big metropolitan area. But some countries where growth tends to be very concentrated in one area often tend to face greater internal strife. Thailand is a leading example of that. That so much of Thailand, is a relatively large country with a population of 70-80 million, yet a lot of the population is there in Bangkok. And a thumb rule I have is that the ratio between your largest city and your second largest city, the population ratio should typically not be more than 3:1, maximum 4:1. And when it is too concentrated in one place, it leads to a lot of resentment in the other regions. In the developed world too, France has a problem because of that Paris, the ratio is 6:1 in terms of population compared to the second largest city of Lyon. In UK too, it's a bit of a problem where the largest city is London, and then the second largest city, the ratio of population is 1/4 that of London. The successful countries, you have whether it's got to do with, countries in Europe, such as Germany or even other countries like Switzerland, the population is much better spread out rather than being too concentrated in one place. I think in Sri Lanka is problem as well. One of them is the fact that so much of the population is around the Colombo area, and after Colombo, there really isn't any big urban centers.
The headline inflation measured by the year-on-year change in the Colombo Consumer Price Index has increased to 4% in December 2023 from 3.4% in November 2023, according to the central bank.
The central bank mentioned that this increase aligns with its projections outlined in November 2023. Notably, after 5 consecutive months of deflation, the food category recorded a year-on-year inflation of 0.3% in December 2023, reversing the 3.6% deflation recorded in November 2023. On the other hand, non-food inflation year-on-year declined to 5.8% in December 2023 from 6.8% in November 2023. The Colombo Consumer Price Index recorded 0.89% in December, driven by a 1.16% price increase in the food category and a 0.27% price decrease in the non-food category. Core inflation, which reflects the underlying inflation in the economy, decreased to 0.6% in December 2023 from 0.8% in November 2023. The central bank stated that inflation is expected to stabilize around the targeted level of 5% over the medium term, supported by appropriate policy measures and inflation expectations. However, it cautioned about a potential temporary uptake in inflation in the near term, mainly due to the proposed value-added tax increase and its possible second-round impact.
Cabinet co-spokesman and Minister Bandula Gunawardena confirmed that Thailand's Prime Minister Srettha Thavisin is set to formally sign the free trade agreement during his scheduled visit to Sri Lanka in February. He confirmed this at the post-cabinet meeting media briefing on Tuesday.
Minister Gunawardena stated that it's a promising step towards boosting international trade relations. The decision to sign the FTA was announced in September 2023 after the successful conclusion of the sixth round of negotiations held in Bangkok. In a separate development, the Cabinet of Ministers in its meeting on Monday approved proceeding with the proposed Sri Lanka-Thailand FTA. This follows the successful conclusion of the ninth round of negotiations that took place in Sri Lanka from December 18th to 20th. Negotiations for the FTA resumed in November after being on hold for 4 years due to the COVID-19 pandemic and ongoing restructuring of Sri Lanka's state-owned enterprises. During the first 10 months of 2023, the bilateral trade value between Thailand and Sri Lanka amounted to over $320 million. Thailand exported goods worth over $230 million while importing goods worth over $106 million from Sri Lanka.
Stay tuned. We will return after this short commercial break. Welcome back after the break. The government has granted crucial exemptions and incentives for two major projects valued at $100 million each, signaling a commitment to bolster businesses of strategic importance in the region. The Cabinet co-spokesman and Minister Bandula Gunawardena said this at the post-cabinet media briefing on Tuesday.
The approved projects include the Asiri Port City Hospital and the TIQRI Information Technology Venture. Asiri Port City Hospital is recognized as a primary business of strategic importance, while the TIQRI business is declared of strategic significance as a secondary business in the Colombo Port City. The approval paves the way for the next steps in the project progression, the issuance of gazette notification followed by the tabling of the said order in Parliament. The Minister highlighted the financial commitment and strategic significance attached to advancing infrastructure in the Colombo Port City. Minister Gunawardena noted that these investments will not only positively impact the local economy but also contribute to enhancing the healthcare and its landscape in the region. The proposals presented by President Ranil Wickremesinghe in his capacity as the Investment Promotion Minister received approval from the Cabinet of Ministers at its meeting on Monday.
The Cabinet of Ministers has given the green light to the procurement process for the first phase of the proposed development plan in the upper tank area of China Harbour, Trincomalee. The Cabinet co-spokesperson and Minister Bandula Gunawardena said this, speaking at the post-cabinet meeting press conference earlier on the week.
The Cabinet had previously approved the leasing of 61 out of the total 99 fuel container tanks in the upper tank area of the Trincomalee Terminal Limited for a period of 50 years. The commencement of the project kicks off with a comprehensive feasibility study aimed at developing the 61 oil tanks. The feasibility report recommends the first phase of the project to focus on renovating 9 tanks, laying a pipeline nearly 1.75 kilometers long and constructing essential supporting facilities. The proposed business model for this ambitious project is based on the build, operate and transfer framework, emphasizing sustainable and efficient development. The initiative, spearheaded by the Power and Energy Minister Kanchana Wijesekara, garnered approval from the Cabinet of Ministers at its meeting on Monday.
State Minister Shehan Semasinghe emphasized that sustained single-digit inflation has played a crucial role in fostering business confidence in the country. The state revenue, accounting for 11.2% of the gross domestic product in 2023, is projected to increase to 15% by 2026. The State Minister said this at a press conference held at the Presidential Media Centre on Monday.
According to the State Minister, the country is poised to achieve a 1.7% economic growth in the third quarter of 2023, signalling a significant recovery from 2022. The balance of the primary account, which was negative in 2022, has turned positive, standing at 333 billion rupees as of November 2023. The receipt of the second tranche from the IMF has bolstered foreign reserves, projected to surpass $4 billion, including contributions from the ADB and the World Bank. He said the state income will reach 3,000 billion rupees in 2023, surpassing the revised estimate of 2,850 billion rupees, representing 11.2% of GDP. The state minister noted that the number of tax files have rebounded from just over 400,000 in 2022 to a milestone of 1 million. Samara Singh added that the government has effectively settled unpaid bills exceeding 350 million rupees and achieving timely payments for all approved projects by December 2023. He went on to say that the government plans to initiate the Aswasam application process, extending benefits to a total of 2 million people and ensuring effective and targeted support.
With that, we wind up for today. For this and more, subscribe to our channel on YouTube and follow us on Facebook. See you tomorrow with State of Business at 7:45 p.m. Take care and good night.